Well, hello, how are you? My name is Jeff. I'm so glad you could be with me today. Before we get started, I need to talk to you about these videos I've been doing, these Mystery Science Theater 3000 videos. I think from now on, it's going to be an every other week thing. You may have noticed last week I did this little biography thing, and I'm hoping that's a new series that I'll keep doing, and that's going to fill in the every other week thing. You see, doing these videos, I know I said when I started I would do one a week, but it turns out, the best laid plans, it turns out that it's just too much work. It really is. I've been trying, and boy, sometimes I give up my whole Saturday and part of my Sunday putting these together, and I just can't do that anymore. And there's been times in the past where I published videos and I knew they could have been better, but I just didn't have time. Well, now I have time. I really hope you'll understand. One more thing too, and I know I said I wouldn't do this, and this will be the only time I do this for a while anyway, but I'm asking you, if you haven't yet, if you could subscribe to this channel. I'm very close at hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is a big level jump when it comes to YouTube. It would really help me out. It would help me more than it would help you if you could do this for me. I would really appreciate it. And this will be the last time I mention it until I'm close to 5,000 subscribers, which will probably be 10 years from now. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about a film that was first shown on Mystery Science Theater 3000 on August 17th, 1991. It was edited from a Japanese science fiction TV series called Star Wolf, and it's a film called Fugitive Alien. It was directed by Kiyosumi Kuzakawa and Minoru Kanaza, and it stars all these wonderful people. This was the episode in which the bots plead for help because Joel is acting like a dairy farmer. Dr. Forrester invents a device that combines all the ear, throat, and nose medicine you need into one convenient package, while Joel invents a musical chair. We get the first appearance of Jack Perkins, who introduces the film. Later, Joel and the bots show off their strange hats and end up making fun of the Mads, which angers both Frank and Clay. On the next break, Joel makes the bots act out a scene from the film in which he plays Captain Joe. And finally, after the bots explain their confusion with the plot, Joel uses Sid Field's screenplay model in an attempt to explain the plot. For those new to the show, while I'm talking about a film that was first shown on Mystery Science Theater 3000, I'm more talking about the film itself and not so much about Joel and the bots' treatment of the film. But before you turn this off, there will be a few minutes of that MST episode at the end of the show, so come on, stick around, do me a solid. This is the poster, and since I have no clue how to read or speak Japanese, I'll just show it because, well, it's nice. Now, like I said, this was edited from a Japanese TV show from 1978 called Star Wolf. There were 13 episodes that were aired between April 2nd and June 25th, 1978, and then another 12 shows under the name Space Hero Star Wolf that ran from July 2nd to September 24th, 1978. The series was based on American writer Edmond Hamilton's 3-book series of the same name that were published between 1967 and 68. Apparently, Hamilton's work was big in Japan at the time. Edmond also wrote most of the Captain Future series, and he was involved in the production of both the Star Wolf series and the animated version of Captain Future. The series was produced by Tsuburaya Studios. Tsuburaya Productions was a company started by special effects director Eiji Tsuburaya in 1963. Tsuburaya was the co-creator of the Godzilla and the Ultraman franchises, and is considered one of the most important and influential figures in the history of cinema. Now, I'm sure in its complete form, Star Wolf was an amazing show, but when you edit down 24 half-hour episodes into one 100-minute film, well, it gets a little rushed and confusing. Now, the original was a science fiction adventure series aimed for older adults, inspired by the success of films like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Star Wars. At first, it was very popular, but as the series progressed, its popularity quickly declined. That was why, on episode 14, the title was changed to Space Hero Star Wolf, and changes were made to appeal to a younger audience, making the plot more easy to understand and adding in a bit of comedy and introducing a robot. But all those efforts failed, and the series was canceled much earlier than the producers intended, ending after 24 shows. And of course, it was eventually bought by Sandy Frank, who took the 24 episodes and edited them into 2 feature films. Now that's all I really have as far as trivia for the show. There isn't a lot out there. So now let's look at the people who star in this film. The only actor I really want to talk about is Akihiko Hirata. Hirata lived from 1927 to 1984. He is uncredited in the film, and I have no idea what part he played. I only bring him up because he played Dr. Daisuke Serizawa in the first Godzilla film. Now I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you've never seen the original Godzilla film from 1954, not the Raymond Burr version, and you think that all Godzilla films are those silly kids films from the 1960s and 70s, you need to watch this one. I'll also say the most recent Godzilla film, Godzilla -1, is also a fantastic film. Anyway, oh wait a minute, hold on, we're supposed to be talking about Fugitive Alien. What is Fugitive Alien? We start during the opening credits with a bunch of spaceships heading towards a planet for an invasion. Hey, at least they didn't rip off the opening scene from Star Wars like so many other science fiction films have done. And there's this guy. Could it be our hero? I don't think so. The ships are attacking Earth. Apparently the Earthlings are aware of these raiders and run for shelter.
The found the raiders! Run for your lives!
Get
Everybody in the
inside!
shelters, quick!
Hey, these guys aren't messing around. We meet one of the invaders, Ken. Ken is a Star Wolf warrior.
Bang, 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 bang! You're dead!
He had one job, but his one job involved killing a child, and the child's name is Ken also.
Little boys with guns grow up to be big enemies. Better kill him while he's still young.
Hey, do you want to play? Ken! Where are you, Ken?
And then you have his mother.
Ken! What are you waiting for?
Ken, you're not going to get promoted in the Wolf Raiders acting like that.
Traitor! I don't kill women and children! It's stand back and let me do it! I said no! Ken, why? You betrayed us.
So it hasn't been a good day for this warrior. Do you think this is a Monday? I think it might be a Monday. So after killing his friend, Ken runs away. He gets in a spaceship and takes off. His boss, well, he's not too happy about it.
You will not reach home. All traitors die.
Cut to another spaceship, the Bacchus 3. Inside there's Captain Joe and his crew, including Rocky and the cute Tammy. We quickly learn that Joe has a thing for the bottle. But why not? This is his last voyage. He's getting too old for this.
It's ridiculous to go flying around the stars at my age.
What? You're not thinking of retiring?
This life's a bore. Just routine. It simply lost all its fascination.
Meanwhile, Ken is having a few issues that might require an analyst, I think.
I don't want to die in the middle of nowhere.
Is dying in the middle of nowhere better than dying in the middle of somewhere? So Ken's solution to the situation is to blow up his ship while putting himself adrift in outer space. I see. But wouldn't you know it, he's discovered by Joe and his crew. While trying to figure out Ken's deal, they learn of the attack on Earth. And we, as the audience, learn that the cameraman has a zoom lens.
Ships en route MMS 600 be on the alert.
Ken is still having issues.
You'd better tell us the truth, fella.
I'm an astronomer. I was doing scientific work.
You're not an astronomer.
Let go.
But Joe has another more pressing issue. Wolf Raiders. Lots of Wolf Raiders. The Wolf Raiders attack. How can Joe and the crew get out of this one? It's Ken. He knows what to do. He takes charge. You see, Ken, as a Wolf Raider, is much stronger than Earthlings and can handle speeds that the crew of the Bacchus 3 can't. An asteroid field. That's too much for the Wolf Raiders. They decide to leave. And I want to stop here and comment that I don't think their uniforms look all that comfortable. I'm getting hot and sweaty just looking at them. Anyway, the Bacchus 3 returns to Earth. Okay, the Wolf Raiders sent a huge armada to Earth to destroy all life. Did they all leave just to go after Ken before they finished the job? I'm just saying, because Earth doesn't look all that destroyed. But sadly, Captain Joe's children were killed in the war. How is he going to break the news to his wife, I wonder?
Where's Marianne? Our daughter, where is she? Where is she?
Marianne's resting.
Joe, she's eventually going to find out. You know that, right? Oh, that solves that issue. And Ken still has some issues and runs away. I was going to stop here and do one of my plot summary bits, but the film does it for me, so that's okay.
Ken was safe for the moment. But where could he go? What could he do? An outcast on his own planet. A fugitive alien on Earth. He would have to make a fresh start somewhere.
A spacecraft. I'll have to hijack one.
Can he steal a ship? Not with the smarts of Captain Joe.
Hello, stranger. Did you just drop by for coffee, or were you planning to stay on for the cocktail hour?
And the thing is, Joe knows exactly who he is.
You're not a very great... The minute I saw you, I knew you were one of those savage-bound wolves. I should have let you die. You know something? That was my last flight. I wanted to devote the rest of my life to my wife and kid. My wife just died in my arms. My daughter was already dead.
But we get a recap of what we just saw 15 minutes ago. And after a little heart-to-heart between Joe and Ken, maybe, just maybe, they're gonna be friends.
We might even get to be friends.
I don't understand. What have I done to deserve this?
We don't deserve half the things we get. You're stuck here.
Ken, I think Captain Joe's mood swings might be something to worry about. Not bad. First day on planet Earth, already has a job.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Back on Valnostar, Ken's former home, the Wolf Raiders were returning from their unsuccessful mission to conquer Earth.
I'm still not sure why their mission failed. Again, was this because of one traitor? But here's a twist. The man Ken killed has a sister, Rita, and she's a pretty sister at that.
He was killed by Ken.
Ken did it? Why, that can't be true.
I know it must seem impossible. You loved each other, and he was your brother's friend. I trusted him too.
Must he die?
Yes, and you must be his executioner.
And life is good for Ken. Not a care in the world. Except for that thing where he killed the brother of his girlfriend. I mean, he's got to be wondering what that's going to do to their relationship.
You look so angry, I was afraid.
And it looks like Tammy might have feelings for Ken. Boy, is this a soap opera or what? So let's get this straight. The Wolf Raiders have attacked Earth but somehow failed to take it over, but they did kill Captain Joe's family. Now Joe was planning to retire, but now he has no reason to. During the attack, Ken killed his girlfriend's brother, and now the evil leader of the Wolf Raiders have ordered her to take revenge on Ken. Tammy, the pretty female member of the group, seems to be getting feelings for Ken. On top of that, Joe has invited him to join his group of warriors, even though he was part of the group that killed his family. Another member of the group, Rocky, isn't happy about the whole situation. You know, it seems we have enough plot here for like 3 films, but it doesn't matter because for the next 45 minutes, we're going to talk about a whole different story. You see, Joe gets a mission on a planet called Carrarian. On this planet, 2 groups are fighting, and one of the groups has a new super weapon, a gun of some sort. And Joe is given the mission to go and destroy the gun. And quickly, we get a slideshow of the crew.
That's Rocky.
The best space pilot in the business.
You remember Dan, my navigator?
Indeed I do. Oh, and this little darling is your morale officer, no doubt.
Negative, sir. Lieutenant Tammy knows more about computers than the 2 of us put together.
You don't say.
It's good to know that sexism will still be around in the future. So the new crew has a mission, and like I said, Rocky isn't too happy that Ken's coming along, so he tries to kill him with a forklift. But wouldn't you know it, they work everything out, and now we've got a team. So they head out to the planet with the super weapon, and when they get there, Captain Joe seems to have been expected.
Captain Joe.
He seems to know you.
Captain Joe and 1 officer, follow me.
So he orders the rest of the crew to stay on the ship. But they're restless and they decide to go out anyway. But Tammy isn't having it. She tries to stop them.
We have orders to wait here in this spacecraft. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
But she can't stop Ken. And he's way too happy.
Yahoo! Pow! Bang! Bang, bang! Yahoo! Bang! Bang!
No adult should ever say bang, bang. And for a while, he just runs around like a tourist.
Hey, a bar.
And then there's a little trouble in a bar.
Here, go on. I told you to drink. This'll teach you.
It turns into what seems like a light-hearted brawl with wacky music playing.
Here's one more.
Ken's having a great time and it's so much fun until he kills somebody.
We would just... Get him!
He's captured and Joe sees it all. So Ken's execution is ordered and Joe has no choice but to agree.
Then you don't mind if I cut off his head?
Not at all. Suit yourself.
Huh?
But Joe has a plan. He orders Ken to escape and to free a colonel from the planet Salazar and then blow up the cannon.
We want you to contact that officer. Get him and yourself out of prison.
Why don't you just ask the Carrarian authorities to release us?
I asked for permission just to talk to him for 5 minutes, and they got suspicious.
Ken escapes and kills a few guards on the way. When he finds the colonel from planet Salazar, he breaks them out. One might ask, are all those noises really necessary? I mean, he even says kick. Let's watch that again. To make a long story short, the two have an exciting escape that takes way too long and end up destroying the gun. But escape is not so easy, and when all hope seems to be lost, and both Ken and the colonel seems to have had it, Rita shows up. Remember her from the beginning? How'd she get there? I don't know, but she isn't happy.
You've turned traitor, abandoned me and killed my brother.
It was an accident. He was
getting ready to shoot a little boy whose name also happened to be Ken. I was just trying to stop him.
She knows what to do, but she can't pull the trigger.
I can't do it. I can't kill the man I love.
That love and feeling is still there, so maybe they can work things out.
Rita.
My darling. Ken.
It won't work, Rita. Too much has already happened to us.
Or maybe not. But before they can work things out, there's an attack. Rita is shot, and guess who she blames?
Ken. Traitor. It was you who fired that shot. It was you.
Nice, one last guilt trip before she dies. But Ken and the Colonel find the ship and they escape. But the adventure's not quite over yet. You know, this is a hard film to judge, it really is. I mean, if you take it as a film on its own, yes, it's pretty bad, but who knows what the original Japanese TV show was like? And how badly did Sandy Frank edit it? And was he faithful to the original dialogue when he did the overdubbing? Did Sandy Frank hire a professional screenwriter who spoke Japanese to come in and carefully go over each line of dialogue with respect to the original writer? Or did Frank and his neighbors just spend one Sunday afternoon spouting out whatever came to mind? Who really knows? Now I wonder if there's more to Rita's story in her search for Ken. My thought is, if you cut out some of the more boring parts of the rescue of the Caesar Colonel and the blowing up of the gun, and add more of her story, her search for Ken, it would have flown a little better, and perhaps been a little more exciting. I'm assuming there was more within the series of her finding Ken. Anyway, I'm guessing that Sandy Frank just used part of the first episode, cut to one of the episodes in which they resolved the Rita situation, and called it a movie. But again, I really don't know. I did like the music. The music was composed by Norito Maeda. Norito was a Japanese jazz composer and pianist who lived from 1934 to 2018. I really don't know anything about him, but it seems that film soundtracks were not his main job, as he only did a couple of films. But like I said, I really like what he did here. The music is available on YouTube if you want to hear the soundtrack, and for today's obscure reference, we have this constant joke.
They say Rocky wants out of this mission.
Again? In the late 1950s and early 1960s, there was a cartoon called The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Within that show, there was a segment in which Bullwinkle tried to do a magic trick, and it never worked right, but Rocky's response to Bullwinkle was always the same.
And now...
Hey, Rocky! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat!
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat!
I take a 7.5.
Now, for the MST3 show, they cut about 20 minutes off the film, and it's available on YouTube if you want to see it. I don't know why you would. It really is no better than what you saw on Mystery Science Theater 3000. But now let's watch the best of that Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode.
Sandy Frank presents her own personal hell.
Indeed.
Who is that?
Well, you gotta get that steering column fixed. Wait a minute. Oh, is that Ken?
Hey, it's not Ken, it's Ken.
Oh, you
You're
mean
confusing
Ken?
him with Ken.
Oh, I was thinking of Ken.
No, Ken.
Ken.
They seem to be developing. Huh? To come back. All three route MMS 600.
Well, we can't fight him, but we can confuse the heck out of him.
This is the song written for the train chase. This is the chase, Rocky and Ken. He tried to kill me with a forklift. Olay!
Tammy's got a gun.
We have orders to wait here in this spacecraft. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
She is management material.
We have to stick together.
Oh, come on, guys. Now I want to do what I want to do.
Eat it, Joes. Eat it, Joes. Eat it, Joes. Eat it, Joes. Here, Joe. Ken's making a little too much out of this. They're just Christmas lights, for crying out loud.
What manner of man are you who can summon flame without flint or tinder?
Some call me Ken.
Oh, it's neat. You can buy these things in North Dakota and Wisconsin. I buy them by the brick, by the gross. They're got like black cats and stuff.
Have a nice trip.
I love Ken and a guy named Ken and it hurts me so.
I'm in love with a guy named Ken and it hurts
I'm
me
in
so.
love with a guy named Ken and it hurts me so.
You heard. Kill me and get it over with.
Come on, chicken. You chicken. Come on, kill me. Come on, chicken.
I wonder what he's thinking.
Would you take those rocks out of your pockets?
Rock climbing, Joel.
Rock climbing. Rock. Bacchus 3 will be back in Sweet Sweetback's badass song.
Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And in 2 weeks, we're going to have a real fun movie to watch. The 1956 classic, It Conquered the World. I mean, what more do I need to say than an AIP science fiction film directed by Roger Corman and starring Peter Graves, Lee Van Cleef, Beverly Garland, and Sally Frazier. That says it all right there. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about when it comes to this film, and I'm actually looking forward to that one. And I'm sorry if today's episode seemed a little short. There just wasn't a lot to talk about. You take it easy, stay healthy, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of this show, whatever you want to call it. Whatever, I'm a grumpy old man. Just get off my yard.